Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Horror Room. So, we are here on a special occasion, of course, as you should all know by now. It is Friday the 13th again, and it's rare that we get like one or two Friday the 13th, but we have actually three this year. You've seen the last video. We got this week's, and then there's one near the end of the year in November. I have something extremely different and very unique planned for that. That I probably don't think a lot of people talk about, especially when you're celebrating Friday the 13th. But let's dial back a bit and let's realize that we're here to celebrate Friday the 13th, and we're going to celebrate some of the top kills in the franchise. Um, we're going to try and do one from every movie, and we're doing top 13. So I know what you're saying. You're like, there hasn't been 13 Friday the 13th films. So bear with me. You're going to have to see what I've done here. But we're going to go in order of films, and I'm choosing these personally, so they're my recommendations. You might have different kills that you enjoy. If you want to make me a list of your top 13 kills, write them below, and I would love to see which ones you think are better in each film. Um, and I was going to limit it to only kills done by Jason Voorhees, but there are some iconic kills in, part one, part five, even Hell, even though I'm still against the idea that it's even Jason since he's possessing bodies, but we're not going to get into that. Um, so let's start with part one, the most famous scene in the whole damn movie, and that's Kevin Bacon getting an arrow pushed through his neck by Pamela Voorhees. Um, when you find out that it's Mrs. Voorhees, Miss Pamela, doing the murders, it's so funny to imagine her in her sweater, like wiggling underneath the bed and laying there just to poke, uh, poor Kevin Bacon in the neck with this arrow. So that's my pick for the best kill in part one. And like I said, any picks that I think of, they're just my personal favorites. There's tons of great kills in a lot of these movies. I mean, unless you count some of the later films, which got butchered by the MPAA. But even then, you can still look up some of the like raw footage, which is nice. But Friday the 13th, part two, I think when Mark goes outside, and if you can't remember, Mark is the gentleman in the wheelchair. He's hanging out, he's playing games with the other chick, and you're just like, this is good. Mark's in there. He's got her smiling. And then he goes outside for whatever reason I cannot remember. Maybe he's going to meet up with her, and poor fella just gets a machete to his face, like like this, like, and falls downstairs. Like, what is it with people in wheelchairs in horror movies? They just have such horrible luck. I was literally just talking to my girlfriend about Franklin from Texas Chainsaw and how hilarious it is to just think that he just has like one of the worst days of his life and it just ends with him getting murdered. So yeah, poor Mark, but that was an awesome kill, especially since he didn't fall out of the wheelchair on the way down the stairs. Pretty awesome. And I think that was only one take too. Um, then we have when Shelly. Oh, we're in part three now. Sorry, part three. Uh, Shelly keeps messing with Vera, and he's trying to scare her. He's got like the hockey mask and stuff, and of course Shelly goes off because he gets his little heart broken. Um, and Jason kills him, gets his mask because he has the iconic hockey mask, puts it on, and goes out to the dock where Vera is, and she thinks it's Shelly again, which she's got Halloween kills syndrome, where she's like, "Yep, same body type." Um, and she's like, "Oh, what do you want?" And Jason just standing there raises this harpoon gun and just bam shoots her in the eye with the harpoon gun, and it's so iconic. And that's one of those shots from that movie that was meant to be in 3D. You can really tell, but even without the 3D, it's still fun. It's still like one of the best scenes in the whole movie. Then we're moving on to part four. Now, originally, I really liked the kill with the coroner at the beginning, the horny guy, and he gets his neck broken. It's really cool, but I would be lying to myself and to everyone if I didn't think that poor Jimmy has the worst kill in the movie. Um, Jimmy spends the whole movie getting ripped on by Ted, and then Jimmy and Ted are like hanging out, and Jimmy gets his choice of the twins for some reason. Um, so he comes back downstairs after getting busy. Ted's high as a kite. Ted doesn't care. He's watching old Dutch burlesque movies or something. Um, and Jimmy's in the kitchen. He's like, "Hey Ted, where's the corkscrew?" And then wham, you just see it go right through his hand, and before he can even scream, Jason hits him in the face with a meat cleaver. Jason has a really, like, he just likes to shut people up, like right in the face, which I guess is good. If you're running around killing people, you want to be quiet, and that way Jason can hide their bodies and have a little laugh. Um, so yeah, poor Jimmy. That's probably the most iconic part of that whole movie. That and the dance that he does. Then we move on to part five. If you're wondering, I have a list next to me. Yes, I take notes. I not gonna pretend I don't. Um, oh, Edward and Tina in part five. So part five is the halfway house where all the delinquent youth quotation marks, live, and Freddie, Edward and Tina are the couple that keeps sneaking off to have sex. Uh, the lady and her son come by, keep them freaks off my property, and so obviously they go out again to do it, and they get found by Jason. It's because it's not really Jason in this movie. Now Tina's death is pretty brutal. You got the garden shears right into her eyes. They don't really show it, but they show the aftermath. It's still pretty brutal, but man, poor Edward, Eddie, whatever you want to call him, gets his head bashed up against the tree, and then has the belt wrapped around, and Jason sticks the stick through the little rings on the belt and starts twisting, and oh, it's just like you can see it like going deep into his skull, and it's so brutal, and it's an amazing kill. Like for it not being Jason, it's very much in the spirit of Jason, and I think Jason would be proud. So hats off to you, part five. Um, then we go to part six. Jason Lives. Uh, it may be a silly part in the movie, but I absolutely love the paintball scene. And Jason comes back with a vengeance in that scene because he beheads three people in a row. Um, and of course, right after that, you have the guy shoot him in the chest with the paintball bullet, and Jason just looks down and he's like, "Oh, you fucked up now." But yeah, that triple beheading I think is one of the best kills. I'm counting it as one kill because he did one motion. Um, but it's one of my favorite parts in the movie, so that's the one I'm picking. Uh, you can say I'm cheating, but I don't care. Then we have in part seven, which is the New Blood. Yes, New Blood. Dr. Cruz, who's trying to convince what's her face? I don't remember her name. Tina. I think it's Tina. Maybe I'm thinking Nightmare on Elm Street. Anyways, the psychic girl. He's trying to mess with her, and you find out that this doctor is just a scumbag, and her mom realizes it a little bit too late. She's trying to chase him through the woods, and Jason's chasing both of them, and he ends up using her mom as a human shield. That's not the part I like. It's what comes after that. Now, again, most of these scenes were heavily censored by the MPAA, so it sucks. And most people, if they had to choose, would probably choose the infamous sleeping bag kill. Now, if that was left uncut and intact, that would for sure be it because it's brutal as hell. several whacks on the tree, but we only get to see one. Now, granted, we don't even get to see this one fully in the film, but the idea of it, and I'm pretty sure you can see the raw footage, it's pretty gnarly, is when he kills Dr. Cruz. Yes, Dr. Cruz with the weed whacker. That is crazy. It's more like it's like a saw blade. Because if you're thinking a regular weed whacker, you're like, oh, that would hurt, maybe, but I don't think it could kill someone. Then we're gonna move on to part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Julius and the rooftop scene. It's amazing. Going one-on-one, duking it out with Jason. He gives it his all, but obviously Jason can take hit after hit after hit. And finally, Julius is like, give me your best shot. And Jason just, boom, uppercuts his head right off his damn body into a trash can, too. And that one, I do know for sure, was a one-shot. Or, no, it wasn't a one-shot. They added that scene in after because they thought it'd be funny. So, yeah. It is funny, but it's also one of the best shots in the whole movie because up till that point, it's most people call this movie a bore. It sucks. I get it. People get feeling like they're ripped off from the New York aesthetic. We get to be on a boat most of the time. Then we move on to New Line Cinema, who purchased Friday the 13th after Paramount decided to sell off the franchise. And New Line hits us with Jason Goes to Hell. Not the greatest Jason movie. Has some okay moments. But if you want to see one of the craziest kills, you have to get the unrated version. Because in the unrated version, there's a couple out doing the deed out in a tent. And Jason, because like I said, he's body swapping in this movie, goes up to the tent and shoves a tent pole through the woman who's on top and splits her up the middle. So it goes from being like, hey, boobies, to, oh my God, she looks like the letter Y. It's pretty bad. And it's pretty badass, too. So if you haven't seen the unrated version of that movie, there's things to love and hate about both, but you definitely get more gore in the unrated director's cut. So there's that. Hold on. Then we have Jason X. I don't know why we even have to sit here and pretend like it's not the best kill in the entire franchise, in the entire Jason X movie. The cryogen face smash. It's so damn good. And this is before he even gets into his Uber look. So he's doing classic kills, but with futuristic settings. I don't know if they establish, like, so Jason knows. I think he just did it, like, trying to drown her. And then when he pulls her up expecting her to be dead, he sees, oh, she's frozen. And he's like, oh, this is going to be fun. And then just wham, right on the counter. Her face shatters. It's so fun. Like, people that say they do not like Jason X, I'm like, how can you not at least appreciate that kill and think it is, like, one of the best? Let me know. Do you love it? Do you hate it? So that was 10 films. We had 3 left. We're getting close. Now, we have the remake we're going to talk about real quick. The remake, I decided, I could have done multiple kills from some of these movies, but I wanted to give every film a chance to shine, even the ones not starring Jason. The remake, though, does have a pretty entertaining kill. A lot of the kills are a little toned down, honestly. Other than the beginning when he has that person tied in the sleeping bag above the fire. That's pretty cool. But Trent, who is the generic asshole boyfriend character, when they're running out in the woods after leaving the cabin or the little house, whatever, Jason picks this dude up and slams him down on a tow truck. And the tow truck driver is like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And he's speeding away with Trent's feet dragging on the ground because he's stuck to this thing. I laughed so hard, but that it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen Jason do. So that's probably the only kill in the whole movie that I actually think is like, wow, they put some thought into that. Well, and I guess you could say the dock when the chick is like under there trying to hide. That's kind of cool. Kind of classic vibes there. Then we have Freddy versus Jason. Now, Jason does a lot of the killing in the movie, much to Freddy's dismay, but it's usually pretty simple things. We do get like the guy he throws the flaming machete at. He turns the one guy's head around. Lots of fun ones. The guy in the glow sticks, he stabs right through him, kills the girl underneath him that he's trying to do bad things with, and flings them both away like he's casting a fishing rod. But even before all that madness in the cornfield, uh, Trey, the asshole boyfriend, who's like, "Oh, you smell like cigarettes. Go wash up." Um, while his girlfriend's in there, wondering why she has such a pathetic boyfriend. Jason's in the bedroom, stabbing this poor bastard repeatedly, and then that's not enough. He has to turn him into a goddamn sandwich by folding the bed up on him. And I remember seeing that in theaters and laughing so loud, and it was so fun. One of the best kills. I think it's easily in the top three, right up there with the Cryogen one. So it just goes to show it doesn't even have to be a regular Friday the 13th movie. It can be a spin-off type to have fun with. Now, there's 12 films, but we have 13 in the list, so what was I going to choose? Um, now, there were kills in the whatever the beer commercial short, the Jason universe. You'd be like, oh, what about the boat motor kill? That was cool. It was okay. It was a little too CGI heavy. Um, I wanted to keep it a little more practical, and there's a lot of great fan films out there. You probably already know where I'm getting at. The Never Hike Alone fan films. There's a part one and a part two. Now, part two brings back Tommy Jarvis from part six, the same actor from part six. Yes, because it's not Corey Feldman, of course not. He'd be rocking out on his guitar. Um, but in Never Hike Alone 2, there's a character named Sheriff Rick. Um, from what I can remember, because it's been a while since I've seen it, it is a great film, though. You can honestly just watch part two without watching part one and still get into it, but they do connect things from the first movie to the second. I wouldn't recommend watching them out of, just watch them both. Um, yeah, but the sheriff guy, he's kind of a jerk. Jason is like cornered him, and this guy tries to shoot Jason in the head. I think he shoots like up through his chin. Uh, and it shows Jason's head go back, and you can see blood coming out on his mask. But then when Jason snaps his face back down and look at him, it's completely clean. The only part of the kill, I'm not. Well, I mean, it's not really the kill because he hasn't killed the sheriff yet. Just kind of breaks the illusion a little bit. But then Jason, like, basically crushes this guy's head in. Um, I can't remember if he uses a weapon or if he just uses his hands. Um, but I do remember that it looked really, really good. And it was surprising for a short film to have like some good gore like that because the first one has a little bit less. It's more of like, hide and seek type movie, but this one had some genuine kills in it. I think it had like close to 20 kills in the movie. So it's pretty cool. Um, so there you have it. There's my 13 kills. Who knows? Maybe there'll be some good kills in the TV series. Maybe in the future movie. We'll see. I don't know. Um, but yeah, we have a very long time till the next Friday the 13th. Anything can happen, but whatever happens with that, it's not going to be the focus because I've already got my idea in mind. And you'll have to stick around till I think it's November 13th is the next Friday the 13th to find out what I'm going to be doing. But like I said, it's something pretty unique. So until then, guys, happy Friday the 13th. Hope you marathon some movies, play the old shitty NES game. I don't know. Just, do something to celebrate. But Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.